Now, thousands of Africans living in Israel now face an uncertain future. It comes after the government there issued a statement saying they face imprisonment if they do not leave the country in the next 90 days. This affects up to 38,000 migrants, mainly from Eritrea and Sudan. The Israeli government describes them as infiltrators who have entered the country illegally, but activists say they fled persecution and describe them as asylum seekers. It's believed that Israel has an arrangement with Rwanda and Uganda to take some of these migrants, and the country said it will give those $3,500 on their departure. Now let's get reaction to this from Tel Aviv. The hotline for migrants and refugees works with some of those affected in Israel, and its head of legal affairs is Tal Steiner, who joins me now live from Tel Aviv. Tal, how have those you're working with reacted to this announcement?
Well, the reactions have been very, very affected. People have been coming into our offices in their dozens over the last few weeks, and especially since yesterday. The situation is very dire. People are concerned, they are frustrated, they are afraid for their lives.
So, Tal, so is it clear now that if these migrants don't leave within the next 90 days, they'll be locked up?
This seems to be the intention of the state. Yesterday, the state has published a legal procedure as in how exactly it's going to proceed in doing so. So according to this procedure, if people would get a notice of 60 days before they would have to be either to leave the country or to be deported or to be jailed. So it seems that the state is very serious about this moving forward.
I mean, you've been fighting this in the courts in the past. Is there a challenge that you can mount at this point now?
Absolutely, yes. Because even though the Supreme Court on August said that the plan to deport people, even forcibly, stands in the legal matter, still it says that the state would have to uphold a certain number of rights for people, namely the right to be granted a legal status to reside, whether in Uganda or Rwanda. According to the research that we have done and keep on doing, this status is not being granted. People do not receive legal status in the third safe countries that they are being deported to. And we are going to bring this information forward to stakeholders in the state, in the courts, until they decide, hopefully, to abolish this plan.
Tal, the government says that the migrants entered Israel illegally and should have sought asylum elsewhere. Do you not accept this point?
Absolutely not. First of all, every refugee has the right to seek asylum, even if he entered any country illegally. I think also in Europe, the millions of Syrian refugees did not enter Europe legally. Still, they uphold the right to ask for asylum. Absolutely. Secondly, many of these people fled Egypt after they have been living there for quite some time. But then in 2005, there were demonstrations held in the Mustafa Mahmoud Square in Cairo, which were led to the massacre of many protesters, asylum seekers, which led to them fleeing to Israel. So they cannot seek effective asylum in Egypt as of now, and therefore Israel has the right to at least examine the refugee claims, something that it has not done so far.
Tal Steiner, many thanks from the Hotline for Migrants and Refugees, speaking to us live there from Tel Aviv.